Hi everyone, it's Dr. Ramani. Welcome back to this YouTube channel that takes on a whole host of issues related to narcissism and understanding narcissistic relationships. It's my hope that this content is going to help you navigate these really impossible situations and come out feeling a little bit more sane. So we've been doing a series that many people ask about in terms of what's the difference between a healthy and unhealthy relationship. Some people say I've been in an unhealthy one for so long, I don't know what a healthy one looks like. So we're going to take on this issue, the difference between the two, in terms of how a healthy and an unhealthy relationship, how they react to your accomplishments or your achievements. And remember, when we're talking about unhealthy relationships here, we're really talking about relationships characterized by these narcissistic themes. Now, if you are or were in a narcissistic relationship, and this can be an intimate relationship, family relationship, honestly, any relationship, I just want you to close your eyes and think about what would happen if you were to come home or if you were to see them and say, "Hey, I got a promotion," or say like, "I got a big raise," or "I got into that really competitive school or that competitive graduate program," or "I got into that really prestigious training class they have at my work." Just, I want you to sit with that and think about it. What would happen? In fact, you know what? Those of you thinking about it, drop those reactions you think your narcissistic relationship person would have. Drop them in the comments. Now, I know a lot of what I'm going to talk about overlaps with a recent video we did about jealousy at your success being a red flag for narcissism. But I hope in this video to also contrast it to what happens in a healthy relationship, so you are aware of how this should go down in a healthier relational space. Now, the reactions I think you'd most likely to see if you shared these kinds of accomplishments would be passive aggressive rage, things like, "Oh, great, great, great for you. Could we please eat dinner before it's midnight? And are you done talking about yourself?" Or, "Great, great. So you aren't getting paid more. So is that really a promotion? Or can you really afford to go to that program? Doesn't that mean that you'd have to work fewer hours?" And you go through the entire cascade of dejection we have talked about in other videos. Your accomplishment and your achievement activates the narcissistic person's vulnerability and shame, and typically then their rage. This gets particularly magnified if this narcissistic person is very controlling or is not doing as well as they hope in their life or their career. To share such good news and then be met with these dismissive reactions, it feels awful. It does not feel like a loving relationship. As a child, if you had a narcissistic parent, you likely experienced the ignoring it, the not celebrating it, the not caring about it, or them saying, "Pass the peas," after you shared the good news. As an adult, it's the same stuff and often the same sense of dejection. Your success, which could actually be quite good for the family if it means more resources for the family or better long-term prospects, since you will have better career prospects, the narcissist, it isn't seen in that way. Rather, since the narcissistic person is unable to take any view other than an egocentric one, "How does this affect me?" and always perceives everything as a threat, this accomplishment of yours is viewed as something that portrays them in a bad light, and it takes the spotlight off of them. It's a mixture of a loss of status that they've experienced, a loss of control, jealousy and envy, fear of abandonment, and shame. A combination of factors that lacks a name. I can't even name it. And that typically culminates in a whole set of negative reactions that can take the joy out of your achievement and bring tension into your relationship over something that is actually good. So let's contrast this to a healthy relationship. In short, if you share this kind of good news in a healthy relationship, your partner will be joyful for you. And even if there's a little bit of trepidation over what the good news might mean, for example, if the promotion means that you may need to move or commute longer, you get to those details, their initial reaction will be one of joy. There is actually something called the Michelangelo phenomenon that applies to healthy relationships. This was a model developed by Dragotis, Rusbult, and their colleagues. And basically what they say is that when two healthy, growth-oriented people come together, the one partner sees the potential and the gifts of the other partner, and that opens up each partner to grow towards their ideal selves, because their ideal self is actually being confirmed by the other partner and supported and encouraged. In some ways, in this model, the partner sees an even more inspired version of the other partner than the other partner sees in themselves. To me, this is a gold standard of a healthy relationship, and it requires two healthy partners who aren't threatened by the success of the other, who don't have shame activated by the success of the other, and don't feel they will be abandoned when their partner succeeds. And it is great, great, great when we see this, right? A partner in this model isn't controlling or trying to hold a partner back. It works. This model works, but it requires both people to see the other and support them so they can move to their ideal selves. And this Michelangelo phenomenon, it's beautiful to see it when it happens. Many times, people are so careful about when they share their good news because they're afraid of aggravating or hurting their sensitive partner or whomever the narcissistic person is in their lives. They may wait until after they prepare and serve the narcissistic person their favorite dinner, just to butter them up, to put them in a good mood so they can receive the news about their own accomplishment. It's sad when you have to prepare another person to hear good news about you, when you're walking on eggshells about even sharing the good thing that happened to you because you're afraid of their jealousy and fragility. If this is happening, then this is officially an unhealthy relationship. Even if we are having a really bad day, we can still be so happy for another person. We may even give a disclaimer saying like, I am so, so happy for you. Hold on, sorry, give me a minute. Today was a bumpy ride, but honestly, your good news was just the uplift I needed to hear. Thank you so much. Let's celebrate you. All of us can do this for the people we care for. And by so doing, by seeing the potential and success in those we love, incredible things are really quite possible for anyone who's in a relationship. If you are in a narcissistic or an unhealthy relationship, this Michelangelo stuff's not going to work. But it is aspirational in other relationships. And those of you who aren't yet in a relationship, please hold out for this, for someone who sees who all you can be. When you feel you can't share your good news without making sure the narcissist is okay first, then it's not a healthy relationship. Know the difference. Thanks again.